Pollinators play an important role in our ecosystem and environment conservation. Many insects help in pollination and lead to the multiplication of plant species, both agricultural and wild. Insects like honeybees not only contribute in pollination but also produce economically important products such as honey. In India, Apis dorsata, or the giant Asian honeybee, produces over 80% of the country's honey and pollinates over 687 plants in Karnataka alone. But now these insects are getting affected by the air pollution. A recent study done by Bangalore-based National Centre for Biological Sciences of the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research has led to some shocking facts. The study has been done by the postdoctoral fellow Geetha G. Thimmegowda under the guidance of Dr. Shannon Olson.
She collected some of these bees and she brought them back to the lab and looked at them under something called a scanning electron microscope, which is a very high-powered microscope where we can look at the bee under very high magnification. And when she looked at the bees from the more urban parts of the city, they were coated with debris. They had little particles all over them. And she then analyzed those particles using something called elemental X-ray analysis, which allows you to determine what those particles are made of. And she found things like lead and arsenic and tungsten and all of these metals and dangerous toxic chemicals that shouldn't have any business on a bee's body. And that's when we realized that these bees were being exposed to air pollution.
The 4-year study was conducted on more than 1,800 honeybees that were collected from in and around Bengaluru. Along with this, a correlative study was also conducted on fruit flies reared in labs. Bees from more polluted areas showed significant differences in heart rhythmicity, blood cell count, and expression of genes coding for stress, metabolism, and immunity. Micron-sized particulate matter containing toxic metals was also found on the bees. And most shockingly, over 80% of the bees collected from the moderate to highly polluted sites died within 24 hours. These outcomes are enough to show that the air pollution is having a devastating effect on these important insects.